Sheridan's Alan Scott Green Lantern has been an absolute abomination since even before the book came out. You had Tim Sheridan going on Twitter, well, X, Twitter, telling fans that, buy the book or else you will be labeled a queerphobe or something like that. Never even talked about the book. And ever since it came out, there's been one disgusting page after another. The entirety of the book is just to push Alan Scott gay Green Lantern. That's it. I've said this time and time before, and some people want to say we all kind of thing and the other. Okay. In this video, I'm going to show to you exactly where this book has actually devolved into now. And then I'm going to drop some very harsh truth bombs that I think people really need to listen to understand exactly what it is going on. Let's get into this article from Fandom Pulse. Alan Scott shown to frequent homosexual prostitutes in new Tim Sheridan Green Lantern issue from DC Comics. Yeah, because when it's not bad enough, have him go and pay for gay. That's how you do it. God in heaven, yeah. Tim Sheridan's Alan Scott Green Lantern has been disgusting since the first issue. Yes, it has. It was so bad that Tim Sheridan posted a video to X urging readers to buy it to upset the independent rebellion in comics known as Comicsgate before its release. Well, that didn't help. It came across as desperate and embarrassed DC Comics when sales were low on the first issue. In issue number 3, Tim Sheridan further destroys Alan Scott as Green Lantern in a way DC Comics can never reverse. I don't think they ever want to reverse it. Alan Scott is one of the golden age characters DC Comics took over, first appearing in All-American Comics number 6 in 1940. He has a very different origin from the Green Lantern. Most people know in the Silver Age and wears a different costume. Over the years, DC Comics developed Alan Scott, giving him a wife and kids. Well, that's over. What really matters, I'm saying, is Alan Scott has a different origin from the Green Lanterns. What you could have really done was really develop the character and actually show that. But no, you don't care about doing that. Somebody actually said to me, you know what? They care about Alan Scott. That's why they have just reduced him to being the gay Green Lantern. That's how much they care. I mean, like, people listen to themselves sometimes. God. Yeah. When they turned Alan Scott gay for a publicity stunt, that's exactly what it was. DC Comics did so in the typical cowardly manner of a corporation that's trying to milk controversy but pretends they're not doing so, and made this an alternate reality version of the character. In DC's Rebirth storyline, they finally took the original version. They had him come out of the closet to his wife and kids as gay, ruining his family life and destroying the character permanently. Now DC Comics is rewriting the character's origin with Tim Sheridan. Yeah, this is what Alan Scott should be doing instead of saving people in a hotel room with his boyfriend. Yeah. The first issue of the series was a full gay love letter to his homosexual partner, showing multiple pages of men without shirts and cuddling each other and implying sodomy. It ends issue 1 by teasing that Alan Scott will receive electroshock therapy in issue 2. The therapy didn't help matters as Alan Scott is seen in issue number 3 trolling ducks in search of homosexual hookers known as gigolos. Alan Scott shows familiarity with one of these gay hookers when the gay hooker even has a pet name for him, Scotty. Boy. Yeah. Alan Scott replies to this by saying, I'm looking for someone, to which this other homosexual says, aren't we all, implying both are familiar with trolling for gay prostitutes. But we either got to be quick or head back to your place because the blues are out in force. So here's the bottom line of what's happening with this issue when I come to understand. Alan Scott is going around picking up gay prostitutes, right? And apparently the crimson flame that took over his first dead boyfriend's body is murdering these prostitutes that Alan Scott goes with because it's apparently jealous that he isn't banging it or some crazy shit like that. I don't even. This destruction of the Green Lantern hero has him familiar with quick, anonymous gay sex with prostitutes, turning Alan Scott into a criminal hedonist instead of the hero he once was. It further goes on to imply that Alan Scott had sex with a dead homosexual prostitute when he was investigating these crimes. God in heaven. Perhaps even worse, DC Comics then brings in the Spectre, a character who talks to God and validates Alan Scott, who is in the moral right under Tim Sheridan's out-of-character writing. He notes Alan Scott's acts would be considered salacious but makes no judgment himself, which is against God's commandments for purity and nonsensical for the character. Because if I'm not mistaken, and I highly doubt that I am, the Spectre actually hates homosexuals. I can't remember the exact run, but I do remember that when the Spectre actually stated that he had to kill some people because the Spectre is basically like the hand of divine judgment and stuff like that. That's what he does. But no, they changed this whole thing up because, Tim Sheridan wants to justify that, okay, Alan Scott doing this is perfectly fine, and a character like the Spectre would literally kill him for doing it. It's perfectly okay with it because God is fine with all of this. I mean, I don't know when is the last time Tim Sheridan picked up a Bible, but I can assure you, it ain't in there. This is what the Spectre has to say. Alan, you love them. The Spectre says lying about his hedonistic acts with gay prostitutes in complete contradiction to how the character should act as a spirit of vengeance working for the Almighty. The Spectre also then wrongfully claims that the homosexual lifestyle is not sinful, stating, if you think being framed for murder is God's retribution for acts of love, that some of his less enlightened children call crimes, then you just don't know him like I do. I tell you, you have Alan Scott hugging up the Spectre and this shit would never happen. This is not only Spectre would ever be here. This is not only Spectre is, but this is what they're trying to do. The Spectre, the hand of almighty divine judgment for God is hugging up and saying, you know what? It's okay, boy. It's alright. The Spectre's never given that crap with any of that. Kill you and be done with it. This is Tim Sheridan spitting in the face of Christians, ascribing his sinful lifestyle behavior to morality and calling wickedness good in an attempt to manipulate young readers into these lifestyles. The book is rated 13+, which means DC Comics anticipates children will be reading this and falsely learning that trolling for gay prostitutes is good moral behavior. Yeah. What more can they do to destroy Alan Scott? Well, at this point, pretty much anything. Pretty much anything. The Spectre concludes his monologue about morality, further telling Green Lantern, if God himself didn't want you to love, then how could you? The dialogue is coupled with showing Alan Scott again nude with his homosexual partner, it appears he's been cheating on with gay prostitutes. DC Comics has it a new low with this issue of Alan Scott Green Lantern, something editorial should have caught and made sure never happened. I don't even know who works at DC editorial anymore because I don't even think them care. But instead are clearly pushing this agenda towards children by making their heroes into evil, corrupt beings. Huh. And this is just issue number 3. This is just issue number 3. Now let me say something and ruin the Spectre lab. Let me say something. Because I know there are people who are going to jump in the comments and say, oh, You're just a homophobe. I have a problem with this and with that. All this and that. All kind of drama. Let me say something. This is going to be very harsh to hear, but I think it needs to be said. So I am going to say it. All the people who want to claim that I am this and others at that and I'm a homophobe, what kind of thing with this? Are projecting themselves onto Alan Scott, and that's not right. You are not Alan Scott. If you're gay, bisexual, whatever, that's your business. Nobody cares. Honestly, nobody cares. You are not Alan Scott. You are not Tim Drake. You are not Bobby Drake. You are not John Kent. You are not. So acting like people having a problem with these characters who they have known and loved for years suddenly being changed out of the blue to fit some sick agenda. And then acting like, if anybody doesn't love it, they're attacking you. They're not attacking you. Nobody cares about you. That doesn't mean that I'm sure people in your life care about you. Good for you. But the vast majority of readers of comic books don't care about you. They don't. You are not these heroes. Trying to project yourself onto them is absolutely pathetic. That's the only way to put it. It's downright pathetic. Acting like everybody having a problem with all these characters being turned gay out of nowhere is somehow them attacking you is utterly stupid. That's it. Utterly stupid. They are destroying these characters, and you're all out there acting like this is the greatest thing ever. Well, here's some harsh truths again. These people, Tim Sheridan and the rest of them who you love to defend, they don't give a damn about you. However the wind blows, they will go with it. If tomorrow the whole narrative changes, you know what, all this woke gay shit is just wrong, they will write it out and continue because they don't care about you. They don't. The great storytellers, the great comic book writers actually cared about the characters that they were writing and by extension cared that the fans enjoyed these characters. These so-called activist writers don't give a damn about that. They don't care. But they use these buzzwords, and you jump on board to defend without realizing at all the damage that they are doing to the industry, to these characters, and to you by extension. You are not Alan Scott. You're not Bobby Drake. You're not Tim Drake. You're not John Kent. Stop this nonsense. Nobody is against you. Nobody cares about you. This is about the characters that are constantly being destroyed by these lunatics. If you're gay, bisexual, whatever, that's your business. That is your problem. This has nothing to do with these characters. I said it before. I said it again. You see that whole line? So that people could see themselves. One of the worst ever. Gay is not a character. This is a continued destruction of a golden issue that they could have done to really rise up and build this character and actually make good stories. No. All they have turned this whole Alan Scott book into, all Tim Sheridan turned Alan Scott book into, is nothing more than one giant gay parody that nobody cares about. Nobody. This is issue 3. And now they have Alan Scott trolling the docks, picking up gay prostitutes. That's what he's doing now. This is where this has reached. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you're a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring your notification bell to be notified every time I put on a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.